evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Esty Hess,
And I'm Dr. Ann Kirsch.
and we are here on another episode of On and Off the Spectrum podcast with some very, very special guests. We have Mary Heller and her wonderful son. And Ryan is here. Lindsay, how would you characterize your assistance to Ryan?
I am Ryan's communication partner.
Very good, his communication partner. And we are here because Mary has actually shared a remarkable journey for herself and Ryan, where by instructing Ryan, again, Mary, you help me if I get it off center, with a letter board, you were able to help him gain language.
Yes, so Ryan has level 3 autism, and he was in life skills classes his whole all the way through 22 years of age in school.
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second because some of our viewership doesn't know the different levels of autism. Can you explain what autism 3 level is?
Gato.
It's actually considered the full gamut, the full picture.
So very, very impacted.
Yeah. So, and he was in life skills classes, which means that the kids who go into the life skills classes are considered pretty much academically unteachable. And so they decide to just help them build some life skills. He was in those, and he has language, but most of his language is unreliable, and it's minimal. So when he was 23 years old, a friend of mine sent me a book called Underestimated: An Autism Miracle by J.B. Hanley. And it was about a young man around Ryan's age and around Ryan's level of autism, who had become unlocked his communication through a method called spelling to communicate. And it just touched something in me where I thought, we need to try this for Ryan too. Maybe this could work for Ryan. And I had tried throughout life to have him type and do some communication, but it didn't really open up. But anyway, I just thought we need to try this. So I took him to the practitioner, actually, that was in the book. And we saw the very first day that his full intelligence was in there. And in a nutshell, what this system is they train the speech pathway using the gross motor system, because for many guys like Ryan, the fine motor pathway of speech is broken or very impacted. And so this bypasses the fine motor system altogether, and they literally lay down a new speech pathway through their gross motor system by pointing at letters. You're moving your shoulder. And so it was, I don't know how to tell you, it was pretty unbelievable. The first day, she asked him a question, and the question was, who did we fight in the Revolutionary War? And I was in the background going, please no, life skills classes, you can't ask him something like that. And his mouth said, magic dragons, as he was pointing to the letters England, England.
Whoa.
And that was our moment where his dad and I both just fell to the floor crying. And so that was it. We were sold. So for the next year, she trained me how to work with him. And I went home, and him and I sat at the dining room table every day and worked on spelling till we got to the point of fluency, which is where he's at now, which means he's fully open. And given his regulation is in the right place, he can communicate fully. And we found out he's brilliant, that he's a beautiful lyricist. He's now in college as a math major, getting A's. This kid who is deemed unteachable. He has friends, a girlfriend. He's an advocate with a pretty hefty resume. His whole life has completely changed.
That's wonderful.
And so we are.
It just makes me so, I want to cry, because I have myself worked with so many young people who were told that there was no future, you might as well send them away, whatever awful things. And that's never true.
Tonight.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think really the real story, and it's going to take people a while to really believe this and come to an understanding of it, is that we got autism wrong. It is not an intellectual disorder. It's a sensory motor disorder. And once we were able to help him bypass, use his healthier motor system, the gross motor system, we were able to unlock his true.
I need water.
Go for it.
So,
We'll take my water bottle.
there's regulation issues
How open
like
the
that.
door?
Yeah, you can totally leave the door open.
But he can participate fully in a full, beautiful life.
I appreciate that, and I think there was an article, and I'm trying to remember if it was the Wall Street Journal or New York Times, that most recently began to challenge this concept of spelling as the form of communication for individuals who are fully impacted.
Sadly, you have to follow the money with situations like this. And I'm just going to be blunt. There's a lot of money in autism treatment, billions of dollars in insurance and government funding. There's the ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis, is the treatment du jour, and also speech. So the American Speech and Hearing Association and the ABA associations don't want this to be, they don't want to share the monopoly they have. And so they're hiring lobbyists. They're just really campaigning against trying to discredit spelling as real. And we're fighting that battle pretty hard right now. We finally got mass numbers enough where they're truly threatened by us, and that's why the fight is happening right now. And I'm pretty optimistic. I think state by state, to see them do it, you can't unsee it. Ryan's regional center, he holds his own meetings at his own regional center. They can't deny that it's him, and so they do cover spelling for him. So it's just.
I think this is such an invaluable piece of information that gives hope to families, because I would imagine that a regional center, for those who may not be in California or not be aware, there are 18 state funding agencies entitled the Regional Center. California has 18 of them, and they don't always cover these kinds of different interventions. But now more and more people are understanding and believing that this is a situation where individuals who are able to spell and communicate are real. It is extremely valid, and it's, as you put it very aptly, Mary, it's growing, and I appreciate that. I want to make sure that, Ryan, you feel comfortable. Would you like to share some thoughts about your experience? First off, let me find out. Ryan, how old are you right now?
Lindsay, are you there?
I'm sorry to make sure he hears. You're on mute, Lindsay.
I unmuted the iPad, but not the screen. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. So
Ryan typed a little message.
Okay.
Nice to meet you both.
Today,
Being here is part of my mission to advocate for adequate communication support. Thank you for having me.
Andrew says, you got it.
You got it.
Today.
Thank you very, very much, Ryan, for your message. Ryan?
Yes, I really we both appreciate you talking to us.
Ryan, can you tell us how old are you now? And how old were you when you first started to be able to communicate?
27.
Now, right
27.
now.
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you started using the letterboard?
Today is a question. Today, I said, I stay. Can I start over? Even, and today, can we hang out in Lindsay's office room today?
Got it. Next word starts with
My. Okay, this is the person. Yes. Today, can I ask a question today? child. Childhood. And today, when I get a deep breath of
Childhood.
you know me today, today, you make me say, first out, he says, you got it. Today, can I ask a question today?
And
Let's see.
Advocacy. Amen. Steve, we'll start over. Steve.
Let's see, when Ryan has finished his thoughts, I'm wondering if you could also show the audience what the letterboard looks like.
adolescence. In. A. Kind.
Today, can I ask a question today?
Of.
Hell. How about hell?
That works. How about hell? Go for it. Next one.
Hell. That. Is.
You got it.
Difficult.
Difficult.
2. Describe. I spent my childhood and adolescence in a kind of hell that is difficult to describe.
Today, can I ask a question today?
My. Thoughts. Or.
It's like it's at 8 p.m. tonight. Tonight we will so be at 8 p.m. tonight.
That's good.
Present.
Tonight we'll get off at 7:30 tonight.
Excellent.
Let me just
See
get
the pictures.
okay.
You got it.
With. No.
Non-speaker.
You got it. I know you got lots of thoughts.
Speaker.
Speak to one.
No. Way. 2. Get.
Okay.
2. The.
Today, I'm very happy today. Today, I'm very happy today. And we just have another day. Today, I'm very fast. You got it.
You got it. Got it.
Surface. My thoughts were present with no way to get to the surface.
Yes, today.
I want to comment how both thoughtful and laborious the whole
My.
process is, and how much effort that Brian is making. And what I'm noticing is that
Parents.
he gets more involved in his thoughts. His own language is actually in tandem to what he's trying to
Took.
we're trying to say, both both verbally as well as
Me.
in the spelling model.
Yes.
2. Learn. 2. Spell. I.
Can I start over today?
Spell.
I.
Can I start over today?
You want a capital I?
He says no.
Okay.
I feel great.
Try and push through. Well, then.
Felt.
Felt great.
Hope. Four. The. First. Time. When my parents took me to learn to spell, I felt hope for the first time. 27. I spent my childhood and adolescence in a kind of hell that is difficult to describe. My thoughts were present with no way to get to the surface. When my parents took me to learn to spell, I felt hope for the first time.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mary, you could describe a little bit more, because there are hundreds of thousands of children and adolescents who are stuck in the same kind of hell that, Ryan, you describe. And what would be the first steps for these parents to turn to? Would it be their regional center? Would it be to reach out to a developmental psychologist or a pediatrician? What would you recommend, both you and Ryan, to share in terms of other families who, like yourselves, didn't imagine that there was brilliance below the surface, and have found a way in this wonderful case to tap into that?
And Mary, take your microphone is turned off.
I
Okay.
think hopefully in a few years' time, families will be able to reach out to the organizations and people that you mentioned. But right now, the only way to do it would be, it's sort of like we have to prove to the powers that be that the child that can do it, that the non-speaker can do it. So it would be to reach out to the spelling organizations themselves, which is I-ASC.com, International Association of Spelling for Communication.
So
or
we're going to slow that down for 1 minute.
ASC.com.
ASC.com. Okay.
There's also Spellers Freedom Foundation, which is the organization I took Ryan to. And then there is, there's 3 different branches of this very similar method. The other one is called Rapid Prompting Method. And I think the website to find practitioners in your area for that is HALO, HALO-SOMA.org.
Halo-selma.org. Okay.
Yeah, and then, truly it's falling on the parents at this stage to get their child started. And then once their child is able to show, is able to show that they're in there and that they're making progress, they don't have to be all the way to fluency. That's when, hopefully the regional center or the educational system will start to buy in. But you sort of have.
How long? Oh, sorry. How long did it take for Ryan to be able to show you that he was in there?
Okay, well, I got lucky because that very first day I saw it.
Right.
Because I knew that he had not been educated whatsoever.
Right.
I did not believe that he even knew England was a country, let alone that's who we fought in the Revolutionary War.
So where do you think he got that from? Was he reading? Was he listening to what?
He was self-educating his whole life.
And that meant what exactly? How was he self-educating?
Listening to every single thing the family was talking about, listening to every single thing that was on TV. In fact, he even told me later that by age 12, I put him on some meds. I had tried not to put him on meds, but he was having behaviors where we had to put him on meds. And he said that calmed his system down enough that he could start to read. And he said one of the first things he researched was autism. And that he said, and it was so frightening to see that all the experts had gotten it all wrong. That's one of the first things he told me.
What a remarkable young man. My goodness.
And he's beautifully unique to me, but he's not unique. This is a very typical presentation.
No, I've actually had children and adolescents in my practice who worked with the rapid response method, and Ryan is one of thousands of very bright, captured individuals who are unable necessarily to both express themselves and are misjudged as a consequence. So I'm all in favor of this absolutely wonderful way of unlocking not only Ryan's path, but perhaps hundreds of families who look at our podcast tonight and go, oh my gosh, there's another avenue of hope, which is.
That's why Ryan and I are very committed to advocating.
Okay. Tell us about how he's advocating, because as a young man to other young people out there, I think there's nothing more important than hearing somebody.
One of the first few things, Ryan made it very clear that he wanted to be an advocate, and he wants his career to be advocacy. He wanted to be advocate for all the people who are still locked inside and misunderstood. And he very quickly, he started writing about it. He wrote blogs, and he did a lot of writing. He very quickly got invited to conferences, these spelling conferences, and he was a panelist at many conferences. He's also presented to the DDNC, Lindsay, what does that stand for? The educational conferences he goes to. He gives public presentations at the local college. He's actually working with the school that he went to. I don't know if I should say that, but anyway, he's what else have you done, Right Guy? Sometimes he's done many presentations and blogs. He goes everywhere he's invited to speak. He's also personally sought out families of friends that he knew from school and begged he calls it house calls. Like when I've tried to tell them, hey, listen, this is what's happening. Your kid can do this too. And they're like, not my kid, it can't happen. He's gone to their homes and just spelled to the parents until the parents promised to let them try it.
That's the kind of advocate that everyone needs in every field where people have been pushed back and pushed down. They need someone like Ryan, someone any age that can say, you're wrong, I was in here, now I'm out, beware.
That's right.
There's something I just want to add quickly is that sometimes the hardest sell is the parents.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's the
that's
sell we have to make. And so
Yes.
I'm kind of glad when, that Ryan's regulatory system isn't always perfect when he's doing this, so that people can understand that the outside presentation has nothing to do with the inside presentation. And Ryan's actually pretty calm in his body, but there's spellers who are just, bouncing and all over the place. I mean,
Sure,
there's no
sure.
level of impact where we've seen that it means there's a cognitive impairment. So
I would actually like to talk about so many different avenues, but one of the things that caught my ear, Mary, and I'd love to talk to Ryan about his girlfriend, because I think that is such a important part of young adulthood, to connect with a potential partner. And many of my individuals who are on the spectrum in my practice feel somewhat hopeless
Right.
to even imagine that they'll have company with a partner. And I'm curious if Ryan, you could share with us the story of how you met your girlfriend and how's it going. And Lindsay, you're on mute, by the way, just in case you don't know.
he's probably spelling something out.
That's fine.
Okay.
So he's just switched boards. Mary, is there a particular reason
He's
that
not
one
wearing
spelling board is
glasses.
better than another?
I'm in New Hampshire. I'm far away from him, and I'm the glasses police. So he's not wearing his glasses. So his eyes, his eyes fatigue sometimes on the keyboard, and then he will revert back to the laminate. But also sometimes he just switches. But when I did ask him, he said it was because the keyboard will fatigue his eyes.
Oh, so
They
interesting.
all have most of them have lots of ocular motor issues. This is
Do
much
you tell,
harder than it even appears.
I'm sorry, when your son goes out to speak, do you go along with him? And if you go, or whoever goes, do you speak as a parent to other parents that I am assuming are in the room? Do you speak and tell them what you went through, what you knew about your son ahead of time, what you hoped, and what you found out?
Some presentations have been like parent panel and non-speaker panel,
Right.
and usually I answer those questions at the Q&A at the end. But mostly when Ryan presents, and sometimes on a panel with other spellers, we really give them the floor. But yes, I always have opportunities to explain and speak and answer questions and advocate as
And
well.
what kind of a reaction as a parent to other parents do you get?
So
Like, do they believe you? Do they believe it's possible for their child once you've explained this? What do you get?
at presentations, I get a lot of enthusiasm because there must be something that led them to even go to the presentation. Personally, it's unbelievable what a hard time I have trying to convince other parents. I'll tell you what, I've had a lot of success convincing parents of small children on TikTok. That's why I have a TikTok presence, because they still see that. They still see that intelligent child they knew was in there.
Yes.
It's been beaten out of them over the years. And they're still full of hope. The older parents like my age and Ryan's age, they've been through the gamut of they're exhausted, and they've had a million failed attempts at supposed great therapies, and they can be a tough sell.
And I'm just wondering, in terms of just a realistic sell, how often and the duration of the kind of practice that you and Ryan did prior to him being able to be more or less launched independently? And do you now work together, or does Lindsay or some other support person work with him to continue to fine tune these skills?
Okay, so Ryan, every person is different. Ryan took to spelling very quickly. And he was also at a stage in his life through a lot of biomedical that we had done that his body was relatively regulated. So I think the pace at which they learn to spell and communicate openly has more to do with their regulation than their ability, you know. So Ryan and I, we sat at the dining room table for about 20 minutes every day or almost every day for about a year. And he was spelling the whole time, but to where he got fully openly fluent. But some kids, his roommate, oh my gosh, just took off and is fully fluent within a few months. His girlfriend, fully fluent basically immediately. Others could take 2 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Okay, so Brian right now lives not at home. He lives in what are the circumstances of his current lifestyle?
We brought him with some other families to a living situation where he lives with 3 other spellers. He comes to my house. I see him 4 days a week. He does still spell with me. He spells with Lindsay. He spells with another spelling partner that he goes to college with. He probably spells with 4 to 6 people at this point.
And what kind of accommodations in college did you have to procure before Ryan went into the university setting?
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Please, no, go ahead.
Okay. Ryan is at the Santa Rosa Junior College in California. The junior college system is a really wonderful system because he got just a certificate of completion. He didn't get a high school diploma, but they let him in with that. And he's been proving himself, getting great grades. And he could even transfer to a UC if he so chooses at this point. So they let him.
By the way, for our viewers, it's just a University of California.
Yes.
University.
A junior college.
Well, no, actually, a full.
Now he's in a 4-year college?
No, he's in a junior college now.
Oh, okay.
He can transfer to a 4-year. And I think
that's the University of California system, so that's amazing.
California system's been really easy, but I will tell you, the colleges in general are much more receptive because they are not footing the bill. You have to always think about the money trail.
Yes.
The school districts are not receptive because they're going to have to pay for anything you can prove that the child needs.
Right.
Whereas in college, they're not paying. They go in, he has a meeting, they see the kids spell, they don't doubt it. They let them in class, and then the kids prove themselves. Lindsay and Ryan started a club, a spellers club at college, and now there's several spellers at the college.
You know, this is just a remarkable thing. We are both great proponents of the junior college system in California because of a great many reasons. And here is another reason, that they actually listened to what you had to say. They learned who Ryan was, and they said, come on in. They said, yes, there's a place for you.
The only accommodations he gets is he gets time. He gets extra time. He's not taking like the disability courses. He's taking the regular course load.
Terrific.
And that's really all he gets is some extra time. And he gets proctored exams.
So I'm going to speak to one more point because, again, I can only imagine a family who's listening to tonight's podcast and they're saying, well, not only do I have an idea how to begin, but how do I approach Regional Center and ask for monies, and how does that work? Mm-hmm. So did you need an attorney? Did you need an advocate? How did you get the ball rolling so that families can access now this is part of self-determination dollars?
This is self-determination.
Okay, so for our viewership who's not familiar, so I would say probably about, I don't know, Mary, maybe 6 years ago, there was a lawsuit that was won by parents in the state of California that went all the way to the state Supreme Court, where prior to that, insurance companies, the regional center were determining for families who they could see and how they were going to get monies for various services. That changed in the lawsuit where parents won, and what became available is something called self-determination dollars. And those can be used to pay directly to different vendors. And I heard your caution about, that there's big monies and some vendors don't want to, obviously, organizations don't want to be sharing from, so to speak, the pot. But done right, self-determination can assist in getting a particular type of vendor and or different type of modality to the individual with autism, and quite successfully.
Yes, I mean, right now in California, we're having success with this using the self-determination program. And another thing I would just like to point out is who you really want your child spelling with is you. So, I did a little intensive down in San Diego. I went to Spellers and we did 4 days, and then she sent us home with homework, and Ryan and I got open in our dining room. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be a professional to get your child spelling.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's music to the people who are listening. That's music to their ears, because the idea of being able to pay for, or needing perhaps to pay for, an attorney means that they're not going to be able to do it.
Right.
But hearing you say, dining room table, go to hear people talk, come home, do it, go back, find out more.
Well, get trained. Have them trained.
Get trained.
Get trained. Right.
Yes, you said that much better than I did. Good.
I'm not an educator. I'm not a teacher, but
you are in the best place ever. You're the mom.
That's right.
And so
yes.
Very replicable system. It's very easy to follow the system. It's very.
I wanted to return for just a moment because we don't have that much more time left to chat. But I wanted to find out if Lindsay, if Ryan is in a place to be able to. Okay, so Ryan has shared in the chat.
I'm just typing his comments in here just so you have them, but I can play them on iPad too if that's good.
That's fine. So he says,
yeah.
I didn't quite
put that. Can you
put it back on?
up?
So we'll read it out loud.
Okay. All right.
He said, my dream is to.
My dream is to first reach all teachers and tell them when instinct tells them that a child can learn, they should trust that and educate as they're meant to, regardless of what they're told to do. Everyone can learn even if they can't speak.
That's wonderful.
And then he has a part about Brenda in here too.
Say that again, Brenda.
My girlfriend Brenda is first my friend and fellow advocate. Deep relationships are possible for non-speakers.
That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, Ryan, I know that just being on air is challenging for a lot of people, and we so appreciate your appearance today. Thank you for telling us about your girlfriend, and most importantly, thank you for telling us about how much you are an advocate and believe in the capacity to be successful and reach the greater public.
Can you tell us what he just said?
Right.
Yeah.
What did you just tell us, Ryan?
My girlfriend Brenda.
My girlfriend Brenda is first my friend and fellow advocate. Deep relationships are possible for non-speakers. Thank you.
You are so very, very welcome.
Absolutely. It is just a pleasure to meet you and to have you tell us everything you've been through, and to tell the people who will be watching us that there's hope.
And I think the most important thing, Anne, what we're talking about is hope and not false hope.
Opportunity.
And
Opportunity.
Thank you, Ryan. Absolutely opportunity.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you again. This is Dr. S.D. Hess.
And I'm Dr. Ann Kirsch, and you are watching On and Off the Spectrum. And we hope that you have not just enjoyed, but that you've taken away from the conversation we've had tonight something so important, something so serious, that you can apply it perhaps to a young person, an older person in your life, but also be able to say to yourself, wait, I think I know someone that I should show this podcast to.
So with that in mind, please know that we are located on all the social media platforms. Spotify, Apple Music,
YouTube.
Certainly all of the social
Anywhere
media.
you get a podcast,
we're
there.
there. And please also know that if you enjoyed tonight's programming, please don't hesitate to follow, to subscribe. And if you think that you yourselves may want to add to our big story, please reach out and let us know that you would like to be a speaker on our program. Again, this is Dr. Esty Hess
and Dr. Ann Kirsch, and it has been a life-changing podcast for many. Thank you so much,
you again,
Ryan.
Mary and Ryan Keller, and Lindsay. Thank you again as well.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care.
Good job, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great job. Great job.
Yes, wonderful.